Okay, welcome back.
Welcome back.
Fish and a rice cake.
Yeah,
And
fish. And the rice
fucking
cake.
hell, he's got a rice
I've just
cake.
pulled one out in between and then just thought I'm not going to get through
You've
this.
definitely done that on purpose, haven't you?
I didn't, but then when I realised I was still going to have some left when we start recording, I thought, you know what? Let's just have them. These, right? So they're the salt and vinegar Snacker Jack ones.
They're so good.
So good. And
Wouldn't have fish on it. Wouldn't advise fish on them.
no, I put fish in it, but because I was pretty much putting them on my story like every day. Like people have started buying them and then tagging me in it. And then I had them down at the photo shoot, didn't I, the other week? I think I had them at the event the week before. I had them down at the photo shoot. And Dan and I were like, what the hell you got rice cakes for? It's so boring. And then before end of the day, when they're both hungry,
I think we're all scanning them to
start eating all my rice cakes. And I'm like, oh, who's your best mate now then?
Well, I was in the barbers yesterday, and so random. One of my clients, online clients, walked in. Anyway, so I was just chatting to him, and he was like, "I never had a rice cake until you did your podcast, and now I fucking love rice cakes."
Yeah,
It's like, you know what? I mean, they get a bad rep, I think, because of.
I mean, the
fish
plain
and
ones,
rice
yeah,
cake.
the plain ones, yeah, and the plain ones are pretty boring. But like this, so this is like the salt and vinegar ones.
Snack
Really
Jack,
nice.
salt and
Yeah,
they're moreish though. They're dangerous.
they are. Yeah.
So I've got a full pack over there. I'm gonna have a couple after this before we train. And I've planned in 4, but you could easily do the whole packet in.
I reckon if I keep talking about them enough, I'll get a discount code sooner or later.
Yeah.
Jake10
Jake10.
discount Snacker Jacks.
Yeah, or like fish and a rice cake 10.
Yeah.
We'll have to, you know.
The only problem is now we're having it here. I'm going to have to keep eating it, and it is going to be straight like A.S.M.R into the mic, isn't it? I'll just have to like eye contact with the camera as I'm eating it.
Do it all hands.
That might get us more listens, you know. People like that kind of thing. People go on YouTube to listen to.
Mate.
No, oh, well, we're not going that. Not doing anything that exotic with a rice cake, but people like that kind of thing. So it's a different avenue.
Yeah, people are not paying you to.
I'm going to get all myself. That's the problem. They're messy, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. But listen, as Jake's eating his rice cake into the microphone, scruffy bastard. So today's episode, what we talking about? I'm going to ask you. I'm going to tell you because I'm going to ask Jake.
Fat loss mistakes.
Fat loss mistakes.
That's what we're talking
Fat
about.
loss mistakes, and the mistakes that we've made.
Yeah, specifically like what we've done because we've done a lot.
Yeah, and I think that's something that we all go through. We've all made loads of errors, and actually, again, going back on to the 2 previous episodes, if you've listened to them, if you haven't, go and listen to them. But we were talking about like bad coaching, etc., etc. I think one of the reasons that we are, I wasn't going to say good coaches, is because we've been through it ourselves. Like I have fucked up more times than you can imagine. I've tried different diets, different training programs. I've tried fucking everything basically, different supplement stacks, and it has almost always failed me until I got to a certain point. So I think it's important that we share those with you guys. You can have a laugh at us.
It is, but I've also just realised that these get stuck in your teeth really badly. So
Yeah, drink.
I'm gonna have to like have my teeth whilst I'm talking.
Yes.
No, yeah, I mean, obviously we've made loads of mistakes over the years, like everyone has, haven't they? And I think different as well because like I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say you've probably made this mistake, whereas I haven't, and it's basically just getting pissed up on the weekend when you're trying to diet. Because I don't really drink. So that's the only reason I'm saying I haven't, and I know that you enjoy a beer more than I do. So, like when it comes to that, I've not really done that. I've never been trying to diet and then been like, oh, I ended up getting hammered over the weekend and eating all sorts and whatnot. But I have been bad for just going from different diet to different diet. I'm definitely being hooked in by like different diets.
Yeah, magical diets, all that kind of stuff. But
yeah,
I mean, this stems back to when I was like 18. So like when I first started getting into fitness, 18 years old. I mean, I was into it before then, but I mean, properly into the gym. I actually got my first job as a gym instructor at 18 years old. And I was like, well, I wanted to be in great shape, but I still, although we've spoken about this before, it's a bit like passing driving tests, right? I understand how to exercise, understand how to train, but I didn't really understand the other facets of it. So like nutrition, I was still learning, you know, and it took me a long time. But I think the first thing that you start doing, I think the first thing for me, I remember, was just eating clean. Right? Yeah. I just literally was like, well, I'm just going to eat clean, rice, chicken, you know. I
did the exact same thing. I think it was literally... So I came, to be fair, so my dad used to bodybuild when he was younger. And so this is always, get your opinion on this. This always amazes me. So, because what we do now, and certainly in the bodybuilding scene, very, very detailed, isn't it? Very, very methodical, very, very scientific. Like they track every variable under the sun. When I talked to my dad about when he used to compete, and he did okay, like he won a British title, he did okay.
Pretty fucking good.
When I used to ask him, like, how did he diet? He literally was like, he'd eat like a variation of like chicken and rice or
Fish.
fish and a rice cake. But he would have like through the day variations of like chicken and rice or like beef in oyster sauce and rice with brown rice or whatever. And that'd be his day to day. And then every single week on the weekend, he'd get a big pizza. He didn't weigh anything. He didn't track anything, but that was it. And he got like peeled for a show. And I'm like, it does get you thinking like, is there a degree of people overdoing it and overthinking it?
Yeah,
to
maybe.
a point.
Probably.
It's completely off topic, but it popped into my head.
No, there probably is. I mean, that was obviously before the days of MyFitnessPal, and you know, I suppose the evidence-based.
I want to get on the mic.
The evidence-based side of things hadn't really come into play so much at that point, you know. So we didn't know so much about calories and like protein intake. We knew we had to be eating protein. We knew that you had to eat less food to fucking lose weight, eat more food to gain weight, and it was that simple, I think, back then. And the only way of kind of measuring progress back then would have been, right, well, eat this diet for a couple of weeks, weigh yourself, take pictures. If you're not changing, we'll eat less food. We'll eat more food. And essentially that's what we do now, but there's a lot more to it, you know?
Yeah.
And we've got way more to use, and we've got MyFitnessPal. We can track your calories, we can track your all that stuff.
So some of the stuff that I used to get sort of fall for was, and I think I did a post on this recently, I think I called it like the fitness fuckery formula or something. And it's basically like the 3 steps that you tend to see with a lot of different like fad plans. And it was basically, they give the plan like a catchy name, so it'd be like a warrior plan or a Hollywood plan or like a Viking
The
plan.
beach body plan.
Whatever it is, like some sort of name that makes you visualize, gives you an idea of what you're going to look like by the end of it, which never ends up happening. It was like, and then the second step is that they take the basic principle of a calorie deficit and eating more protein, and they just put a really unique spin on it. So I think one I saw the other day was like eating to match your hormones, or it was like only eating within, or it was only training 19 minutes a day. It was called Spartan or something.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Call it an hour. It was like called Spartan. It was training 19 minutes a day, and then it was eating to match your hormone profile. But the ones that I fell for in the past, I think it was keto. It was keto.
I did keto,
and it was called like a warrior plan or something. And it was keto based eating. You weren't allowed carbs. And then step 3. What was step 3? Can't even remember what step 3 was now. But step 1 was the name. Oh, that was it. Step 1 was the name. Step 2 was putting just a really random, unique spin on a calorie deficit, basically just to repackage a basic principle. And step 3 was them saying, oh, Harvard scientists or university scientists have found some sort of new hormone or new food ingredient that just shreds fat. And literally, if you look through all these different kind of plans that get pushed on like Facebook ads normally, and there's normally
we'll put a lot of them out.
Yeah, and it's normally over like a training montage of people in shape training in the gym, and then someone chatting in front of a Lamborghini saying how it's going to burn fats and all this, that, and the other. They all follow that pattern of catchy name, some unique spin that you think is so randomly unique that there must be something to it, and then they'll be like, oh, and scientists have backed this up now, and it's like, it's bullshit.
I used to fall for all this stuff, and this is
I did.
So I did one when I worked when working in the gym, me and the other another gym instructor. And again, I was 4 years into my fitness career here. So, like, I'm still figuring shit out. You know, I was like 21, 22 at this age. Anyway, and we did one called, I think it was called the caveman diet was essentially what it was. And basically,
at Liver King,
it was not far off that. So like it was just really fucking high protein, no carbohydrates, and basically the way that you were meant to do it was like this hunter gatherer kind of like diet, and they packaged it up like it was something like magical.
Yeah,
but it wasn't. We were just eating fucking lots of red meat, lots of protein essentially, and you were meant to have it with just greens. And if you think about that, right? Well, what's magic about that is the fact that you're having lots of protein. And you're almost definitely going to be in a calorie deficit.
Yeah.
The training plans were also ridiculously intense. So your energy expenditure is going to go up. So of course you're going to get results. But we did it for about 3 weeks. Felt like fucking pure death and gave up.
Yeah.
And I must have done thousands of them. I kid you not. And I once put up a video about. Fuck it, I would just say it. I once put a video about Joe Wicks, which went like viral.
You've told me this in the past. It went nuts, didn't it?
Yeah, I've got it. I got a load of hate for it as well, but I got a load of positive feedback from it. And actually, the hate was in the comments, whereas I was getting lots of people inbox me and like saying, "Listen, I saw your video, really agree with you." And basically, what I was saying was, I wasn't throwing shade on Joe Wicks because I completely there's so many benefits to what he does. Like 100%, I'm on board with that. Okay, getting the nation moving, especially lockdown and stuff, incredible stuff. But when he first started, he was posting basically meals with no kind of nutritional kind of backup behind this. It wasn't telling you the calories, the protein, etc., etc. Just putting these lean 15 meals up and these HIIT workouts. He was also in fantastic shape. Now, I know for a fact, Joe Wicks, I can't remember the coach's name now, I can find out, but he actually did a transformational plan with a coach prior to putting these videos out.
Yeah, so he got in shape off a different plan.
He got in shape.
And he started selling a plan whilst he was in shape.
He got in shape by lifting weights, tracking his calories, tracking his macros, progressively overloading, putting on muscle, trimming up, basically what we do with clients, right? And then he started putting out lean 15 recipes. He started doing his HIIT workouts in his back garden, and the thing is, he never said that, I suppose, ever said that this is what's got me in shape, but he never said what did get him in shape. So people automatically landed on his page, me included, and I looked at him and thought, oh, well, if I eat those meals, and if I do those HIIT workouts every day, I'm not look like him. And I genuinely did that. Like, I'm not joking. Like, I was doing HIIT workouts like 6 days a week. Man, I got fucked. So I was doing burpees in my living room. Like, mum and dad thought I was mad, but like, I was so desperate to get into that kind of condition that I was willing to try anything. And it didn't work for me. It failed me, right? So when I put that video out, I got so much hate, but I was like, I put it out from a place of actually, I went through that.
Yeah.
So when I put it out, I had loads of people saying the same thing to me. And I think he's changed his tack now, because I think he got a lot of hate from other people like James Smith, and who are a lot bigger than us in terms of their voice in the industry.
Well, I'd say.
Well.
Oh, no,
they're aspiring to be. But again, and because he's quickly realised that actually he wasn't educating anybody.
Yeah, but you see the same thing with supplements. Like, how many times do you see someone in good shape pushing a supplement, and you obviously automatically assume, oh, maybe that supplement helped them get into shape, or they'll even say like, oh, this is what I used to help me stay in shape or get in shape. But it's like, well, you weren't pushing it a year ago when you were already in shape a year ago. And it's like, do you remember when aspartic acid came around, aspartic acid years ago? I bought that.
Yeah.
I think I saw it in a magazine. And obviously they had a picture of a guy and a girl next to it, like absolutely stacked. And they were like, this is a brand new supplement that we've just found. It helps naturally increase your testosterone. And you see the pictures, and you're like, oh, it's going to make me look like that. But then when you actually think of it, well, that person's been in shape for a while. They've not used this to get in shape. They've got in shape and then started pushing this. And it's the same thing with supplements, especially with influencers. Like, they'll push different supplements. They'll obviously have the discount codes for it. So they've got an incentive. And then 6 months later, they're pushing a completely different supplement that's the new best one.
Every fat burner, mate. And I did like every fucking fat burner, because I thought that was the trick.
Fat burners, test boosters, aspartic acid.
Test boosters, everything. Yeah. Glutamine, BCAAs. I did literally everything, right? But I remember at one point I was taking these fat burners called Animal Cuts. Don't know if you've ever heard of them.
I've heard of Animal Stack.
Yeah,
like the black and yellow.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Like, literally, you open the pack. You have to take these tablets twice a day, or these like stack of tablets.
Last bit of rice cake.
15 of them, like horse tablets. I was like, I just remember, and it said you had to take someone like an summit. So I had my alarm set for like 4 a.m, wake up, take them, go back to sleep, and then go and do my fasted cardio and do all this kind of shit. And I was like, I just spent so much money, and it was just basically a fucking black coffee. That's all it was. And honestly, the reason that I'm passionate about this stuff is because I don't want other people to do the same shit that I did. And genuinely, I'm passionate about it, and it riles me up because I wasted so much time, so much money, messed up so many times with my own stuff without realizing that I just wasn't doing the basics. I just wasn't watching my nutrition. I was getting pissed at the weekend.
Yeah.
I was changing my training plan every couple of weeks because Men's Health said that you had to shock your muscles. Like, genuinely, I did all this stuff, all of it. And this is as I was a qualified gym instructor and a personal trainer. I was actually training clients. So it honestly, like, I was probably 26, probably like 7 or 8 years ago before I started really researching things, getting some real knowledge behind me in terms of nutrition, how it works. And that's when the penny dropped. I was like, fuck me, I've wasted so much time.
The shock your muscles principles makes me laugh. Oh, it only makes me laugh because if you've seen, there's a guy on, like, I don't know, maybe TikTok or something, and he just does loads of random videos, and he'll use that you need to shock your muscles to grow principle, like, as a joke. So he'll go to like walk up or set up on the bench press, and then just as he's about to start, he gets up and sprints onto like a calf raise or something, or he'll go to tie his shoelace and jump into press up.
Or I've seen someone like go to do a pull up and just jump down and start doing press ups instead. It's like, it
does make me laugh. But the only reason that got any sort of credibility was because when you do a new movement to begin with, you do experience more DOMs and more fatigue. That's all it is. It doesn't
But
mean
then
you're
people
growing any.
associate DOMs with being a good workout. And
Yeah.
actually, I mean, you should see DOMs initially and, you know, the first couple of weeks of a new training plan, but generally speaking, it's not a good sign of
It's not. If you're getting consistent DOMs and if you're going into workouts still sore from the last one, it's probably a sign that you're not recovering well.
Yeah.
And you're only going to grow muscle when you are actually recovering.
Yeah.
So then it's something that you
I have a lot of
progress.
clients still say to me, "Oh, the DOMs has gone away. Do we need to be training harder or do we need to check?" I'm like, nah. Like,
Fine.
as long as you're pushing yourself, like, it doesn't matter.
But no, I made the mistake. The first diet I ever properly put myself on was literally right. No bread, no drinking, brown rice, brown pasta if I had it, potatoes, and then it was literally just chicken breast.
My chicken was unfucking seasoned, mate. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
I used to have like not even salt and pepper because I thought that was fattening. It drives me mad even thinking about this.
I did the same at uni. I went through like a year's stint at uni dieting, and I'd take 3 Tupperwares in every day, and it was literally the same meal of plain chicken, brown rice, and a bag of mixed veg.
Yeah,
and that was it.
That's what I used to do.
And I guess it works to an extent.
It does. It does.
It obviously does, but it's just
and my mates
horrible.
will look back and go, "Jake, you were always in decent shape," and it's like, well, that's because even though this stuff was essentially failing me, like I was still training hard, I was still pushing myself. So obviously I was still seeing some benefits, but that wasn't through the supplements. It wasn't through. It was just I was almost kind of a bit of potluck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. So I remember, you know, at one point before I went to a beef when I was like 24, you know, for a period before that, I was doing like fasted cardio in the morning. Again, I thought that was magic. Nothing magic about it. It's just,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh
just
god, I
cardio.
do so much fasted.
It's
cardio.
irrelevant that it's fasted or not.
Yeah.
But I was doing it fasted. So I was doing fasted cardio. I was then basically eating clean, but clean basically was fuck all calories.
Yeah.
And but I'll be honest with you, like mentally, I was in a bad place. I hated it. Like, you know, I couldn't stand what I was doing on a daily basis. I was purely doing it to get in shape. I did get in shape. I was actually in really good shape.
Yeah.
Soon as I got back from that lad's trip and a beef, I just got out of shape again.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't stand the thought of going back to what I was doing.
Yeah. And I think that's why obviously like one of the things that we have to battle with when it comes to working with people is like, if we say, right, we're going to need to diet you down for 16 weeks, 20 weeks, like the initial response is, fuck, that's a long time to diet. And it is. But I think that automatic response is there thinking, I'm going to have to be doing that 16 to 20 weeks.
Yeah.
Like eating
going through hell for
bland, boring food. Yeah. Feeling like crap, hating your life. Where it's not at all. Like if you do it properly, yes, there is a degree. You have to be consistent. You're going to have to be restrictive to a degree.
You have to moderate things.
You're going to have to eat better foods. But you can still fucking enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like you can still work in a couple of things.
So this week alone, just this week, I've sent out some like client feedback forms for like kind of just getting some feedback on my coaching. And one of the questions is, it's something along the lines of what is the most unexpected thing to come positive?
Yeah, I've got a similar one on mine.
And I think 4 out of the 5 that I got back yesterday were doesn't feel like I'm dieting, or I'm surprised at how much I'm enjoying this. And it's because they're not doing the things that they thought they were going to have to do.
Yeah.
They're eating the foods that they want to. Yes, it's being moderated, but generally speaking, they're still eating nice foods.
Yeah.
They're still managing to enjoy the odd night out and socials.
Yeah.
You know, we're not being restrictive. They're not fucking cutting out bread from the diet. Like, they're just eating like a normal fucking person.
Yeah.
We're just moderating things and just putting limitations in where we need to.
Yeah. And like on that, the other one you get is obviously sometimes you'll get a lot of friction from their other half being like, well, I don't want you eating a different meal to me in the evening. Like, I like that time for us together, which is, of course, you do. Like, everyone does. So it's then you've got to be like, well, why do we not just drop your calories through the day and give you more calories in an evening? And then you can literally have the exact same thing and not worry about it. And the amount of people I speak to on calls, and it's like, I don't really want to be eating different to my kids or my wife on an evening. And it's like, all right, cool. Yeah, we don't have to.
You don't have to.
Like, and if you can get that across to them so that they don't think that you're doing this all sort of obsessive diet of eating your exact own thing, cooking your own food out of your own Tupperware, but not being a part of that family time. I was like, when they sort of realised that you can actually do it a lot more lenient and make it fit, there's a lot less friction.
Yeah,
it's a lot easier.
Exactly. And you this is probably one of those passionate. I just it's because, you know, again, we've been through all this. You know, we've messed up. We've done the restrictive diets. We've done the zero carbs. We've done the keto. I've done the fasted cardio. I've done the HIIT workouts in my living room. I've spent probably thousands on supplements. Like, genuinely, like, you know, I've honestly feel like I've done absolutely everything. So for me, it's like, I just want my clients to not have to do that stuff. And a lot of them have done, unfortunately, by the time they get to you, because it's like, well...
We usually like towards the back, like the last place
last resort,
really.
Because it's not sexy, is it? And like, this is the thing. And, you know, what the content we put out, you know, the message that we put across is, well, I put up a post yesterday of one of my clients who's absolutely smashed it. She looks incredible, but she's been with me for damn near a year, and she's been really consistent at just doing the basics for a year, and that doesn't sound sexy.
Yeah.
It does not sound sexy. You try and tell someone that, they're like, oh. But whereas if you tell someone, well, 19 minutes a day and you're going to get shredded if you do this and do that, and it's like, it's got some fancy fucking name to it.
Yeah.
That sounds sexy, but it's failed you in the past. It'll probably fail you again.
I literally said this on the check-in on Tuesday with a client I've got. I think she's 4 weeks in. She's been doing really, really well. She fasts just because she doesn't really like breakfast, which is fine. You can do that if that's what you want to do.
A lot of
Yeah. There's not a problem with it. You don't have to do it. You don't have to avoid it either. She used to do keto, this, that, and the other. And anyway, we've got her sort of 4 weeks in. This past week, I think she dropped like 1.5 kilos, maybe even more in 1 week.
Yeah.
And she hit her targets. She was eating a few more carbs within her targets. She got her training in. She did the cardio. She did the steps. Really good week. Over the moon. Her pictures had improved. And when measurements had come down, weight come down, everything. She was buzzing. And I literally said to her, I was like, right, just so you know, from now on, there's nothing different that we're going to do. I was like, it's not like I'm hiding something behind the curtain that at some point I'm going to pull out and be like, right, now we're going to do this, and this is going to take something to a next level or get you even more results. There's no supplement, there's no new food, no new meal plan, nothing. I was like, all you now have to do is that on a weekly basis. And I was like, stuff's going to come up, events, parties, whatever. There'll be weeks that won't
There'll be better weeks, there'll be worse weeks.
100%. I was like, but that's it. Like, this is literally it.
I know.
And you just need to be consistent with it now.
I know. And you need the accountability. That's where, you know, that. And again, it's with my coach, for example, at the moment, I've got a goal that I want to be in decent shape for in the next kind of 7 weeks. And he's giving me my targets. And he said, just so you're aware, mate, like, nothing will change. I'm literally, all I need to do is keep you on the straight and narrow for the next 7 weeks. And that's essentially what we do with our clients. And it does annoy me that, like, you know, again, this is why we could probably get better at marketing if we really wanted to. You know, if I wanted to, I could get into great shape. So in the next 6 weeks, I could get myself absolutely shredded. I could think up of some ridiculous fucking name of a diet. I could be really loud on camera and be like, if you do this, you will get shredded in the next 6 weeks, man. You know, something ridiculous. Put a fucking
Maybe
headband on.
Practice your accent whilst you're at it.
Yeah. But no, you could do that, and the chances are you'd get more views, you get more likes, you'll probably get more signups because it's sexy and it sounds great, but it's just bullshit.
Yeah. Then, like we sort of said, I think we might have said it before, the only reason those plans gain traction is because they'll hook, let's say, 100 people in. 10 people will get good results.
They will get good
10,
results.
15 people will get like
willing
good
to put
results.
my mortgage on it that they won't keep those results.
Yeah, but for a period of time, 10 to 15, and look, there will be outliers. Some people will just love it and it'll suit them, and that's solid. Cool. There'll always be outliers, but on average, if they pull 100 people in, 10, 15 people will get really good results. They'll use those 10 to 15 people to push it out again. They'll get 500 people in. They'll get 50 to whatever results, can't do the maths. And then they'll use that and it just grows from there. But it's like for every, you know, person that you see get a great result, there's probably 10 to 20 people that it's absolutely done nothing for.
And not just done nothing for, probably muddied the water even further, confuse them even further in terms of what they should be doing.
Yeah.
And again, I've still got clients now, kind of 6 months down the line, and they'll when they do the check-in, they'll go, "Oh, I saw this on Instagram, like about fucking Diet Coke, or should I be taking this supplement?" And I'm like, no, just you're doing everything right. Just you don't need that extra. Like, stop getting, like, it's the shiny new object thing. Stop getting distracted and just carry on with doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
And it will, you know, you don't need all that shit.
Yeah, and I mean, we've had it a few times where people have actually said that they're now saving more money since starting because they're not spending it on supplements or different gym accessories, clothing, or even just
takeaways and
as much
like that.
takeaways.
Yeah.
And it's like, cool, I'll up my prices then. But no, it can be the case as well. But yeah, I think we've made a hell of a lot of mistakes, haven't we? And we can sort of spot them. And it's now what we're doing is essentially just trying to stop other people from continuing to make those same mistakes, because it does at the end of the day just comes down to get yourself into if you wanted to lose weight anyway, get yourself into a calorie deficit, high protein, whatever that looks like. It could be hitting macro targets, hitting calorie targets, it could be tracking, it could not be tracking, it could be a meal plan, whatever works best for you is the key point there that you can sustain. Train consistently at least 3 times a week. Get plenty of steps in through the day, more than you're probably doing now, but it doesn't have to be ridiculous. And if you need to do a bit of cardio, but you might not even need to do loads of cardio, and then just be consistent with it.
put up a post on Instagram and I was like, what people think they need to do or slash have.
Oh, so
And it was
yeah.
like, you know, superior genetics, probably take steroids, live in the gym, have no life outside of that. And I was like, the next slide is like, in reality, all you need to do is train 3 to 4 times a week, 4 to 5 times a week, whatever it might be. Move more, like
Yeah.
10,000 steps, whatever it might. Again, that's just a random number, but move more in general, and be consistent.
Yeah.
Like, watch your nutrition and be consistent. And like, literally 99% of people just aren't doing those 3 or 4 basic steps consistently enough
Yeah.
to see results, and that's it.
That's literally it.
Fucking hell, we're so so good at marketing, aren't we?
Yeah, we're gonna have no clients. But yeah, I think we'll leave it there.
Yeah, that's probably the most rant. That was definitely the reps rants. That was definitely the rant side of the podcast, wasn't it?
Yeah. Is it reps rants or is it rants reps? Neither. It's fish and rice cake
Fish
now.
and rice.
Right. See you in the next one.
Nice one, guys. See you in a bit.